Well, apparently hell hath no fury like the progressive left when it's denied an opportunity to end unborn life for any reason whatsoever. So enter the newly passed Texas Heartbeat Act. So if you're wondering what the Texas Heartbeat Act is, well, it's very simply this: a law that prohibits abortions from being performed once a baby's heartbeat has been detected. Now, why did they make this like the standard for where to draw the line? The answer to that is because a heartbeat is the primary predictor of where the fetus, if the fetus is going to reach a viable age, and be actually born, live birth, right? So now the one thing that you can count on the left to do is dehumanize an unborn baby at every single turn, because after all, ending the life of a human, that does change the conversation around abortion instantly. And that's why the heartbeat bill has been not just incredibly effective, but also effective at that, but also it reframes the entire argument around humanizing something that is scientific, factual about infants, which is that around 6 weeks, a heartbeat is established, is detectable. So it can't really be regarded as a clump of cells, which is really what the progressive left has argued about with unborn children for a long time now. Now, the bill does a couple of things. One, it requires that doctors check to see if there's a heartbeat, which if a doctor doesn't, your doctor is sus. And it also does something else that has really apparently infuriated some on the left. It makes it possible for anyone to sue any clinic and person who aids or abets in said abortion past 6 weeks, meaning any abortion after the heartbeat is detected. Now, those who sue over an abortion performed illegally may be awarded $10,000 for each incident that the defendant performed, induced, aided, or abetted in violation of the law. Now, the bill contained this provision because there were a number of district attorneys from around the country, many of them from Texas, that published an open letter to the media saying that Texas could pass the heartbeat bill, but they're not going to enforce it.
Why does the president support abortion when his own Catholic faith teaches abortion is morally wrong?
Well, he believes that it's a woman's right, it's a woman's body, and it's her choice.
Why does the president, who does he believe then should look out for the unborn child?
He believes that it's up to a woman to make those decisions, and up to a woman to make those decisions with her doctor. I know you've never faced those choices, nor have you ever been pregnant, but for women out there who have faced those choices, this is an incredibly difficult thing. The president believes their rights should be respected.
And that's sexist. That's so incredibly sexist. I'm just going to keep doing that with my hand because apparently it brings a greater emphasis on the point. So if you don't have a vagina, you can't talk about this. If you've never passed a human through your birth canal, you can't talk about this. I mean, that's sexist. By the way, is Psaki suggesting that men can't get pregnant? Because I was reliably informed by the science people that that's not true. And what about like all the other birthing people? Don't they get a say about abortion, even if they're not cisgendered women, right? Yeah. Jen Psaki, she should apologize for her hurtful cis words that have made many people, cis and cis-on alike, feel unsafe. I just like saying it. But seriously, is that serious? Only women who have been pregnant get a say about abortion? I love this logic. So what about adoptive parents? Is this the official White House policy regarding discussions on childbirth and motherhood? What about men? Apparently, the folks who contribute half the DNA to a baby are denied an opinion about their child's development, but don't forget that child support check. It's interesting how radical feminists treat an infant like it's some like parasitic alien that has to be exercised rather than a baby. This procedure as a form of taxpayer-funded birth control, that's not health care. One of the telltale signs that Democrats understand how unpalatable abortion on demand is all of the euphemisms that they employ to talk about dismembering someone in utero. So instead of a baby, it becomes a fetus. And instead of an abortion, it becomes a discussion about health care or reproductive freedom. Look, I like reproductive freedom. I believe in choice before conception all day long. Choose your choice, do it to it. But of course, the health of the baby is never even mentioned or considered. And we act like apparently people get pregnant magically or they fall into it and suddenly like I fell at the grocery store and got pregnant. We all, science, right? Isn't this the era of science? I don't know, when I hear Anthony Fauci, I then start to second guess that. Let's also talk about so-called health care. Democrats always say that Planned Parenthood, which is funded by our tax dollars, whether you like it or not, be honest about it. They say that Planned Parenthood's all about providing women's health care. Planned Parenthood doesn't want you to think that they're a for-profit business that makes the overwhelming bulk of its profits on abortion. That's according to their own website, by the way. I mean, they hide this thing on this entity called the internet. They say that abortions are only 3% of their overall business, yet their own numbers reveal what a deflection this is. The group performs roughly 30% of all abortions in the United States annually, actually a little over that. And they get the figure, they try to get the 3% number by counting abortion like any other service. It's like if a woman comes in for a pregnancy test and an abortion, and they say that only half of what they did was the abortion part. It's like saying that the ballpark is in the business of selling hot dogs rather than baseball because they sell more hot dogs. Planned Parenthood tries to use these services and weird math, which isn't math at all, maybe it's Common Core math, to defend its abortions, and in doing so ignores the more numerous community health centers. People know about those. They outnumber Planned Parenthoods across the country 3-1. They actually provide a full suite of services to women. Better services. Most of their doctors have admitting privileges at nearby hospitals, which Planned Parenthood and other clinics were actually arguing against here in Texas. Oh, and they also offer, in some instances, dental care and pediatric care and care for men. They just don't offer taxpayer-funded abortion. So it's about providing abortion on demand and at the taxpayer's expense. And about 97% of all pregnant women who seek so-called health care at Planned Parenthood, they actually receive an abortion. And according to Planned Parenthood's own numbers, I mean, these are older women, the bulk of them are older women who are using it as a form of birth control, because rape and incest, and we can have conversations about that all day, it's like 0.1% of all, and if you want to bring that up as well, then let's talk about providing capital, making it a capital offense to be a child predator or a rapist. I'm all for that. I think Republicans should be too. And if people were serious about reducing this, they would also be as well. Planned Parenthood ends the lives of 354,871 infants a year. So in the 48 years since abortion on demand was legalized in all 50 states, there's over 61 million people that have been just snuffed out and not ever given a chance to live and make their mark on the earth. Now remember, Democrats used to say safe, legal, and rare. Gosh, that's all they ever said. That's what their promise. But it's anything but rare. And Planned Parenthood that's not a healthcare. That's not a healthcare treatment. They're not in the healthcare business. Let's be honest about this. Now, the left, I think, was hoping for some good old-fashioned judicial activism, and they were counting on the Supreme Court to override the Texas Heartbeat Act, but that was a stupid move that they expected that to happen. It was a 5-4 decision. Wednesday night, the Supreme Court formally rejected a request by Texas abortion providers to block the state's new law restricting the procedure. Now, legal challenges are going to continue because people don't understand that this wasn't about creating abortion as a right, but it actually was the clause about right to privacy through the 14th Amendment. That is what this entire thing was predicated upon. And so people are trying to argue something that they don't understand the establishment of in the beginning legally. So there you have it. Texas wants to protect people with heartbeats, babies. The Supreme Court upheld the Texas heartbeat law. And the left and Hollywood, the Biden administration, the Devil Church and DOJ, which both conveniently begin with the letter D, they're all on the same side in opposing the protection of people that have heartbeats, babies. And that might be all you really need to know.